Does it seem to you that your friends and family always solve Wordle in fewer rounds than you do? Or are you just tired of those fives and sixes and would like to see a two or a three or maybe even a four? In this episode, we'll share five weirdly simple tricks that you can do to help you win faster. And to be honest, anyone can use these tactics. Stick around until the end when I share one strategy that will guarantee to help you win faster. Hey guys, I'm Mary Schaefer, founder of AP Now and the author of Wordle, The Rules, the Strategy, and the Expert Tips. Okay, and speaking of which, let's get started with tip number one. Practice makes perfect. So play every day. If you play every day, you'll have your best shot of getting the most experience. And let's face it, practice makes perfect. So simply by playing every day, you're ahead of the game. Okay. The next step that you want to do, which might go against what you think of as your normal best practice, is vary your starting words. If you use the same starting word over and over, you kind of get into this rut and you just type it in and then you type your next word in and you're not really thinking. So if you start your starting word, you vary it, you'll get the old brain going and hopefully you'll be on the road to winning in fewer rounds. And you might be saying, well, I don't want to use one of those crazy words that won't let me win. True. Okay. You don't want to start with something like Xerox or, something like that. But if you use one of the common words and you just vary it, there's stare, there's crane, some people like a do, some others like a rose. So there's a lot of ones that will help you, but you don't have to use the same one every day. Okay, that's two. Number three, don't rely on hack words. What do I mean by hack words? These are these words that you use. You've probably developed them in your mind. I'm going to be honest, I have a set of three. That's probably what you have, that you type them in real quick. And then you've got your three words in there, and you should have most of the letters if you're lucky. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And then you start thinking, well, you're never going to win in two or three rounds if you do use the three hack words. I understand how that's a good approach if you're tired or run down, but try not to rely too much on your hack words. If you get three letters in the first round, play around with them. Who knows? You may get it in the second round. And definitely, if after two rounds you have four letters, you're really, you're on a roll there. Okay. So don't rely on your hack words unless you're really stuck. So see, I told you this was simple. Now, before I get to the last two, if you like this episode, please give us a thumbs up. And if you loved it, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. We produce new content for this channel 3 times a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays are devoted to payments and accounts payable issues, and Saturdays are reserved for my newest love, Wordle. Although, to be honest, it's about a year now. We're heading into a year. Okay. Tip number 4. Don't be limited by your vocabulary. Sometimes you'll have the letters, you might even have all 5 letters, but usually this happens when you have 4 letters and you got a pretty good idea of what the 5th letter is, and you can't make it into a word. It's just not a word that it's nothing that you know. Well, don't be limited by this. Okay. I call this the desperation technique, and I'll have a link to explaining what that is. And it just means that you don't know every single word in the English language. And so try different combinations, because if it's not a word and you hit the enter button, Wordle simply won't accept it. So you're not losing anything. So don't limit yourself to your vocabulary, no matter how expansive it is. And number 5, okay, play at the hard level. Now, how do you play at the hard level? Well, you can do this in your settings. Click on the setting icon before you start playing. Once you start playing, you can't change the level. And on the desktop, it's in the top right, which I think I should be pointing that way. And it's that little round thingy that looks like the head of some fancy screw. Okay. And when you click on the hard level, this will require that you use, once you get a letter and you know it's in the solution, it will require that you use it. because it's already been identified as being in the solution. What this takes away from you is that ability is when you have no idea what to do with those letters to try another word with 5 letters that you haven't guessed yet. So, but play at the hard level. Now, one warning about playing at the hard level, once you put that setting to hard, if you're logged in and you don't log out each time, it will save it. So if the next time you come, and let's say it was a bad night, and so you're kind of tired and bleary-eyed and kind of just drinking that first cup of coffee, and you really don't want to play at the hard level, well, then you have to go in and change it back because it'll save that setting. Okay, so play at the hard level, and you know what? You can do it, and you'll probably be a real success at it. So what level of Wordle play do you think you're at? We did a video on that about the 7 levels of Wordle play. You can watch it now using the link that will appear momentarily on YouTube and is in the show notes below. And as always, I greatly appreciate your thumbs up, your shares, your shares, and your subscribes. Good luck and happy Wordling.